Today, on the early morning show, why women fail at curbing men's sexuality. Growl. Let's cue the rooster and get this show started.
Good morning and welcome to the early morning show. We're glad to have you. Today, my commentary subject is why women fail at curbing men's sexuality. Also, we have coming up today in the men's bartender, we're making the mixed drink old fashioned. In the men's kitchen, we're preparing savory brown sauce over spaghetti. You won't want to miss it. In the men's medical moment, our subject is dandruff. You know how embarrassing that can be and how to keep it under control. And finally, in our series, Assault on Manhood, we bring you a preview of this weekend's episode of Killer Wives. We tell you about a wife who killed her husband and let his body stay in the house with her for over 3 days, brother. And now, why women fail at curbing men's sexuality. One of the number one complaints that men have after entering a relationship is that the sex slows down, is being rationed out, or stops altogether. Then what are we to do? Are guys supposed to sit around and look like good little boys and wait until their women gets in a mood for sex? I don't think so. Some guys will initially, but most guys won't in the long run. And this is baffling to each new generation of females that did not learn from previous generations of women that the best way to make your man wayward sexually is by denying him that sex. How many homes do you guys know of where women place pillows down the middle of the bed, right? And they try to prevent their husbands or boyfriends even the idea of intimacy. Take away the intimacy, the sex, and this is still inhuman. I mean, you can't even touch this woman. I'm reminded of an episode of Seinfeld in which Jerry is in a contest about not masturbating. While his girlfriend is not having sex with him, and there's a woman across the street in the window who's a nudist they can see every day. His response to the entire situation, something has to give. Something has to give out of one of these situations. And in that episode, something did give, and Jerry ended up pleasuring himself just so he could get some sleep. Pretty funny. If you didn't see it, you have to see it. But I'm not referring to merely a man pleasuring himself, because he is being denied sex by a woman who locks him into a sexless relationship or marriage. Now, although women believe that men are all the same, there could be nothing further from the truth. Once a woman uses the age-old ploy of dumbing down or restricting a man's sexuality, she actually explodes his closed sexual nature and desires for other people and reduces his desire for her. Since men are so varied, you could restrict one man and have him masturbate to pleasure himself. In a different home, a guy would have the internet adult sites out of his mind, suddenly rekindles his desire for them until he can't break that addiction. Yet another home, a man goes out chasing prostitutes for pleasure and risk of it, not just the pleasure. While another man finds himself slinking through the night to adult bookstores and another to strip clubs. Now, I know there are many of you out there that will say if he's in a committed relationship, he shouldn't do such things, right? But know this, if his woman is in a committed relationship with him, she shouldn't do such things either, right? The internet is seemingly full of women who are using baseball bats on men's cars, torching their clothes and bleaching their clothes and homes over them cheating around. But these very same women place those men in a vulnerable position by putting them in the doghouse or on the couch, daring them to break that leash. They laughingly set them up for the test that they knew they were going to fail. You don't give him no sex, dare him to go get it from somebody else. Now, the funniest thing about these women being mad about him getting it elsewhere is that they didn't love the men at heart. They didn't communicate with their men. They didn't want to be with their men and preferred to either be single or treat him like one more boyfriend in a line of boyfriends. But the straw that broke the camel's back is the reality is that they didn't want to have sex with them, and they are absolutely livid that somebody else in the world wanted to have sex with this guy. To deny a man sex is as crazy as a woman denying her man the ability to drink tap water in the home that he resides in, but not fully understanding that the entire city is hooked up to the same water system. Ultimately, women who witness his parched dry lips outside of the home tried to take care of his thirst, and they open up their taps full blast. They see your man. So if you guys have any comments on this video, if you are in a sexual relationship or you were in a sexual relationship, if the woman tried to dominate you with sex, giving you some when you did something right, denying you something when she thought you did something wrong, make sure you leave me a comment. Make sure you thumbs up this video. Make sure you share with your friends on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, or wherever you may find it. And pass this on. See, you can't stop until you let it stop. For the Early Morning Show, this is Charles. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. It's 5 o'clock on a planet somewhere, and we're about to get our drink on. Welcome to the Man's Bartender. Hey fellas, what's up, what's up, what's up? And welcome to the Man's Bartender. You know what time it is. It's time to get your drink on. And today, we got something great. So what we're going to do for this particular drink, you're going to need one orange slice, which I've already pre-sliced into a quarter there. You're going to need one maraschino cherry, and I've got just one cherry there. You're going to need about 1.5 ounces of maraschino cherry juice. Okay? To that we're going to have add about a fourth a cup of ice cubes at the bottom of the glass. We won't do that just yet. Okay, we're going to need 1.5 ounces of brandy. Now, people have asked me about email before, do you have to have a whole bottle of liquor when you're doing these mixes? No. You know, guys, we have these little bottles. You can get them either on airlines, you get them at liquor stores. So we'll use one of those today, okay? And also we need about 2 teaspoons of water. I've already pre-mixed it there. That's 2 teaspoons of water. To that, we're going to add about 1 teaspoon of orange juice. And that's there. We're going to use about 3 ounces of lemon lime soda. So I've got a Sprite there, but you get any kind of lemon lime soda, it's up to you. Okay, so let's get busy. So in this rock glass, and that's what they're called, glasses about that size are called rock glasses. We're going to use a muddler. So this instrument right here with this plunger at the bottom, that's called a muddler. So when you're doing like bartender. So we're going to put that orange slice in the bottom. Should fit there. Put it down there. And we go ahead and put that in there. And to that we're going to add that 1 maraschino cherry. And we're going to muddle those two things up. We want the flavor out of there. Now you're not trying to make mashed potatoes or anything like that. But you do want to explode that cherry and get some of that orange juice out of that orange. Okay? So that's good. That's the first two things we're going to do. Okay? So you're going to put the orange slice in there and the maraschino cherry. You're going to muddle those two things together. And to that one, we're going to do the cherry juice. Add that in there. Alrighty. Okay, so remember, add the cherry juice. Now, What we want to do now is add the ice. And we're going to need like 1/4 of that. You're not trying to put it at the top of the glass there. So that's about right. Okay, so to that we're going to add the water. We're going to add the orange juice. Okay, you with me so far? I didn't lose anybody, I hope. Okay, so let's get out the lemon lime soda. We need about 3 ounces. So if you have one of those traditional measures, bartender's measure, in my particular cup, this is 1 ounce on this side, and the top portion is 2 ounces. So I'll add 3. That'd be 2. Flip it over. 1 more. That makes 3. Okay? Now we got that one. Now we want to add what? The last bit of brandy. 1 1/2 ounce. So what we can do, close to 1 1/2 ounces, just almost 2, but I'll stop just before I get to the top. There we go. Add that in there. Get the bartender's spoon. If you're from the South, a spoot. And go ahead and just mix that up just a little bit. And that, my friend, is how you make an old-fashioned. Old-fashioned's been around for a long time. Now, some old-fashions you add what's called bitters to it. You know, and that comes in a small bottle, a little bit bigger than that one. It's a liquid, and you would add just a little bit of bitters to that, but I'm not going to. It's not my preference. But bitters is like adding salt to food. It strengthens the flavor of the alcohol. But, like always, here's to you guys. Wow. There is a God. There is a God. Oh, this is good. I'll be back in a minute. Don't go nowhere. I'm going to go ahead and polish this off. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! I hope to see you back next time on The Man's Bartender. Join me each week, and we're going to be making some great drinks, some crazy drinks, and stuff that you can prepare for your friends at a party where it looks like you've been a bartender for a long time. Thank you for watching A Minute.
This week on The Man's Kitchen. Aren't you tired of the traditional old spaghetti with red sauce? Aren't you ready to spice up that meal? This week we're doing spaghetti with a savory brown sauce. It's tasty. You won't want to miss it. Stick with us.
Hello guys, and welcome this week to The Man's Kitchen. We're going to do some spaghetti with savory brown sauce today. Let's get started. Okay, what we're going to do is I've got about 1 pound of ground beef, the freshest I can find. So we're going to put that on about a little bit past medium. Okay? A little past medium. You chop it up. I mean, that ground beef is fresh. If you go to a grocery store, you go to a good one, they don't have it in a package. When it's in a package, that's not really fresh. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, let's talk about the ingredients. We need 1 pound of ground beef. We need about 1/2 box of spaghetti. Okay, the spaghetti is already prepared. I have it there for you, already done. So we'll talk about that in a minute. So to that we need 1 jar of brown gravy. So this is a Heinz brown gravy that you can use for steaks or any other kind of beef. But in this case, we're going to use it instead of spaghetti sauce or in lieu of spaghetti sauce. But we got to beef it up by itself. That's too plain Jane, okay? So we're going to add 1/2 cup of chopped green onions, and that's what you see right there. I've got 1/2 cup of chopped green onions. I got about 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. We're going to add to it. I got 1/2 stick of butter, and I've got about 1 tablespoon of parsley flakes. So right now, what we can do, I've got that, like I said, on a medium. I'll put it almost medium high. I'll put that 1/2 stick of unsalted butter in there. There's a difference between salted butter and unsalted butter. Salted butter is good for things that you know you're not going to add any more salt to. So we may add salt to this recipe, so we want unsalted butter because we don't want it to make the recipe any saltier. And that brown gravy I know has salt in it, so I don't want to do that. Okay, we can bring it up a little bit higher. And at the same time, we don't have to wait for that meat to start browning to add those ingredients. Just want them to cook at the same time. But anyway, like I said, the spaghetti has already been done. Some people prefer spaghetti al dente. I don't. When you hear the words al dente, that means partially cooked. The chewable spaghetti. I like mine done. Not too soggy, but done. Okay, so we'll leave that sit there. That'll be fine as is. We'll just add that in one lump sum at the end of this here recipe. Okay, so we take the onions. You can take the onions and put those around the side anywhere, because you want those to cook on the pan. And I don't need it to cook on the meat. Same thing with that seasoning there. And the same goes with that. So everything is in there. Okay, so we got the chopped green onions in there. We got the tablespoon of minced garlic in there. We got the tablespoon of parsley flakes in there. And when we finally finish this recipe, just like any other spaghetti, we can top it off with Parmesan cheese. But in this case, we're going to use a Mexican cheese that I like to use. It's the same, it's white, just like the Parmesan cheese, but it tastes better. The difference with cheeses like Parmesan and you have like cheddar cheese, Parmesan has more water to that cheese. Okay? And there's a difference between some cheeses are saltier and some cheeses are not. Alright, so she's going pretty good. And like I said, that ground beef is a lean ground beef. Sometimes I will tell you to get an 80-20. So the 80% ground beef would be, the 80% would be the red meat and 20% would be the fat. So that's an 80-20 mixture. This one's like a 90-10. So this particular recipe I want a 90-10 because I'm adding a sauce to that. And so I don't want something to be coated just in a liquid sauce. You know, soaking in a bath. Oh, see, she started to get brown. So what we've done, what we have did past tense, we're going to let that brown. I won't hold you guys here for that, I always tell you. And we'll come back in just a minute, we'll add in the gravy and then the spaghetti. Don't go nowhere. What? We'll be right back. You got it.
Place a half a box of spaghetti into a boiling pot of a teaspoon of salt and olive oil. Let boil until complete.
Okay, we're back, and it's almost cooked. Let's get to it. Okay, so you can see at this point, the meat is browned very well. You see that? Okay, so that can be turned down, so we don't have to slaughter that anymore. The flavors of that chopped green onions, the minced garlic, the unsalted butter, and the parsley, they're working their way into that meat. And this is the bulk of flavor that's going to enhance that meat, not the gravy. That's just going to add a little bit of topping that we need. Now, I've already salt and peppered this meat to where I wanted it. Okay, kind of moderate the heat there a little bit between medium, high, and medium. Because we don't want to burn it. How many times when you grew up, if your mom cooked food and that food was burnt, or it was raw? My mom was a good cook. I'm not talking about that. My dad was a good cook. But I mean, you go to somebody's home and it's like, hey, this woman or this guy cannot cook. Alright, so now all of that meat is nice and brown. At this point, we go ahead and take that bottle, open it up. Look at that. I'm telling you, the best taste outside of putting all that red sauce on your spaghetti would be brown gravy. There's a lot of spaghetti dishes in restaurants that have brown sauce, and this is like the closest way you can get to making that brown sauce. Okay, so bring it up to heat again. Just kind of stir it around, let those flavors melt into that meat. And this is a couple of days of food. If you have friends come over to eat, a couple of minutes of food. Alright, so I can almost hear it. It's coming up in temperature again. So we take that spaghetti, slide it closer. Now some people prefer to add their sauce over the spaghetti, but spaghetti is really good if you mix it in with the sauce. And so that's what we're going to do. So we brought up the temperature, lowered down to about a medium. We can go ahead at this time and take that spaghetti and incorporate it right into, there we go, right into that. We incorporate some into the stove and some into the pan. Don't mind ever making a mess when you're cooking. That's what cooking's about. Take the rest of that. Have it. We'll take that spoon, just go around a little bit. Oh yeah. This sure am good, right here. This sure am good. Okay, so we take a plate. We'll take some of that out of there if we can. Let's see if we can do it without a little bit of tragedy here. Just enough to taste. There we go. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's just enough to taste, but later on, when you guys aren't looking, I'm going to get me a much bigger portion. Much bigger portion. You know you cheat when nobody's around? That's good. Like I tell you guys, as always, make sure that you don't just get your stuff from a fast food place, but take the time to cook food for yourself. If you work at a restaurant and cook food for somebody else, why can't you do it for yourself? That's good. Be back in just a minute. We can change the show. Put that to the back burner. Let me finish this. I'll be right back.
Today on the Men's Medical Moment, dandruff, that common skin condition that causes the scalp to flake.
Welcome back. On today's The Men's Medical Moment, we're speaking out about the most embarrassing dandruff. It doesn't matter if you're at a business meeting, on a date, at a family reunion, or awakening to that filthy pillow in the morning. Today's medical advice comes to us courtesy of the Mayo Clinic and myself. Dandruff is a common condition that causes the skin on the scalp to flake, and you've had it before, so have I. It isn't contagious or serious, but it can be embarrassing and difficult to treat. Mild dandruff can be treated with a gentle daily shampoo. If that doesn't work, a medicated shampoo may help. The best treatment for fighting dandruff? To treat the root cause of dandruff, look for a shampoo with a clinically proven active ingredient like pyrithione zinc. Symptoms. Dandruff signs and symptoms may include skin flakes on your scalp, hair, eyebrows, beard, or mustache, shoulders, itchy scalp. The signs and symptoms may be more severe if you're stressed, and they tend to flare up in cold, dry seasons. So, when did you see a doctor? Most cases of dandruff don't require a doctor's care. See your primary care doctor or a doctor who specializes in skin conditions, a dermatologist, if your condition doesn't improve with regular use of over-the-counter dandruff shampoos. What about the causes? Now, dandruff may have several causes including irritated, oily skin, not shampooing enough, a yeast-like fungus that feeds on oils in the scalps of most adults, Things like dry skin sensitivity to hair care products, contact dermatitis, other skin conditions such as psoriasis and eczemas. But these are just a few. So now we're going to talk about risk factors. Who's susceptible? Almost anyone can have dandruff, but certain factors can make you more susceptible. Age. Watch out when you're getting older, right? Dandruff usually begins in young adults and continues through middle age. Now that doesn't mean older adults don't get dandruff. For some people, the problem can be lifelong. Now, being male. Because more men have dandruff, some researchers think that male hormones may play a role in getting dandruff. Certain illnesses, Parkinson's disease and other diseases that affect the nervous system also seem to increase risk of dandruff. So does having HIV or a weakened immune system, like if you're going through any kind of treatment, like a cancer thing, that will weaken your immune system. So MedLife gives us some natural hormone remedies, such as using green tea. Now, here's the preparation for the green tea. In order to get rid of dandruff, green tea can be used by following these simple steps. Firstly, you will require 2 green tea bags and some hot water as a major part of your ingredients. Remember, you're steeping the tea, but when you apply it to yourself, it will not be hot. That's dangerous, for one. So, then you will have to put the green tea bag into the hot water for 20 minutes till it dissolves in it, and then allow it to cool off completely. Once it cools, you can apply the green tea onto your scalp and let it dry for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, gently rinse your hair with water. Note, this can be followed in the morning when bathing. This is one of the easiest ways in which you can cure dandruff naturally at home. Another one, using Listerine mouthwash. Listerine mouthwash has an antifungal properties that can fight the yeast responsible for preventing the growth of this yeast. Responsible for preventing the growth of this yeast. Preparations of Listerine mouthwash. Here's how you need to use Listerine. Follow these simple ways and you can get rid of dandruff. At first, you will need 1 tablespoon of Listerine mouthwash and 9 tablespoons of water. You need to mix the mouthwash with water in a small bowl. Once this is done, make sure that you wash it away using some anti-dandruff shampoos that will help wash away all of the bad bacteria. Note, you can do this in the mornings when you are bathing. Follow this simple procedure and you can see the difference in a few weeks. And finally, using olive oil can do a lot of good to your hair. All you need to do is to apply olive oil to your hair, and this strengthens your scalp. And they sell these products all over the men's section. Just look for them. So, the preparation of olive oil. Preparing olive oil requires a prescribed format that needs to be done in order to get rid of the dandruff. Here are some easy ways in which you can get rid of dandruff. Firstly, apply some olive oil on your hair. After 10 minutes, you can wash your hair gently with shampoo. Note, in some cases you can apply some olive oil before you go to bed. Wrap your hair with a towel and let it absorb the remaining oil. For the Men's Medical Moment, this is Charles. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Today's assault on manhood comes to us from Jacksonville, Florida. This portion of the show introduces you to the women who either injure their men, take them for all they got, get themselves arrested, or out and out kill them. And let us not forget about the ones who just have a hatred for men and all things male altogether. Today's case we bring you from Fox. A New Mexico woman suspected of killing her own grandfather, hiding his body in a tool chest, was arrested in Jacksonville, Florida. Candy Jo Webb allegedly gave her grandfather a fatal dose of Xanax and Ambien. She then stuffed his body in a tool chest, drove across the country. She ended up at 1976 Shenandoah Drive in Fort Sumner, where she discarded his body. Police said New Mexico State Police announced that Candy Jo Webb, 27, was arrested Thursday by U.S. Marshals in Jacksonville, Florida, 3 weeks after her grandfather's body was discovered. Webb was taken into custody without incident and was booked into local detention center in Florida, where she will await extradition to New Mexico. Now, according to police, 82-year-old A.J. Harding's remains were found on October 15th inside a tool chest on a property in Fort Sumner. The owner of the property, Brenda Moyer, told police when she was interviewed on October 19th that she rented the home to her son, who was living there with Webb when they dated. The 27-year-old lied to police that same day and said she took Harding to a nursing home, Texas, about 6 months ago, and had not spoken to him since September. Now, authorities tried to contact Shady Oaks nursing home provided by Webb, but later found out there was no evidence of the facility existing whatsoever. Agents from the state police later learned that Webb was traveling across the country after her grandfather's death. She was arrested in Florida on a warrant for first-degree murder and tampering with the evidence in the death of Harding. So everybody stay tuned, because up next, after this, we have a preview of our weekly show, Killer Wives. Now, everybody's loved that so far, so watch the next preview. And it's going to be released tomorrow, I believe. So ensure you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so you know when it is released. And watch out getting relationships with these type women. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.
And now we bring you Killer Wives, Episode 5, The Caregiver. These are the actual case facts of Nikki Capello, nurse and wife of 8 years, who lethally poisoned her husband to death. Isn't trust a bitch? A nurse from Huntsville, Alabama, whose job it was to save lives, has just taken her husband's life. Huntsville, Alabama, famous for NASA and the U.S. Rocket Center, but also for the murder of one Mr. Jim Capello.
This is Charles Rivers, and welcome to edition 5 of Killer Wives. Nikki Capello, an Alabama nurse addicted to pain medicines, steals drugs from work and uses them to kill her husband.